Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Ozkaya. It's great. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. Just before we start, quickly give us a little bit of background in terms of what it is that you do, and I'll jump right into the questions.
First of all, thank you, Omid, for the invitation, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great chat. Let's start. Okay, I am Erdal. Currently, I work at Standard Chartered as regional CISO. As area the CISO, I'm busy with cybersecurity, regulations, improving the cyber awareness, and on the very rare free time I have, I write books, I speak in conferences, I attend podcasts like that. And one more thing, I wish everybody a safe journey in this COVID.
Yes, yes. Well, that's all we can wish everybody for. So I'm going to ask you right off the bat, what is the number one concern that keeps you up at night, especially now?
I want to take this generally. I mean, I'm like you, a person who speaks to many industry experts, and as you read in the news, it's probably the cyber attacks. I'm pretty sure you saw it in the news that, like Garmin, you have the watch, you have the GPS, you use the products, great company, but they were hacked by ransomware. They were ransomed, and they were demanded to pay $10 million US, which they managed down to get 4 million. Is it just Garmin? No, there is many other companies, and I'm just mentioning the company names not because they're bad, because it can happen to anybody and everybody. So of course this will be my number one concern. But looking at the science, when did this start? 2016. I don't know if you remember with WannaCry. What happened is NSA had a vulnerability which used. I mean, that's what they're saying. I don't want to blame NSA or anybody else. You know, we are just cybersecurity professionals or professionals here, IT professionals. And Microsoft found out about the vulnerability. They patched the vulnerability, but the first WannaCry attack happened 2 months after. So my question usually asks is like, what have you done in this 2 months? And forget about WannaCry 2 months. Nearly 4 years, more than 4 years has passed. The same attack vector is still hitting organizations. Why? Because people are not, they are aware, they know, they listen, but they think it's never going to happen to them. So at the moment, I'm busy to change the mindset of everybody. To have, look, I didn't say it. It was James Comey said it. There is 2 types of organizations. One, they know they've been hacked. 2, they don't. So if this is the case, why are you not assuming that you are under attack now? So if you know you're under attack, like if you know I'm going to try to hit you, you protect yourself, right? And you have it actually inbuilt in your mechanism. God made you like this. If I do this to you, I mean, of course, there's a screen. Usually you will have reflex. You will close your eyes, right? I mean, I'm not, I'm not hitting. We just, as we did in primary schools, we close our eyes, we give reflex. So if you know I'm going to attack you, you will try to protect yourself. I mean, at least you will do this to protect your head. So why not do the same in the space? So
that is the truth. I mean, that's what you're dealing with, I can assume, on a daily basis. And look, when I imagine what people like you have to go through with this exploding attack surface, all of a sudden everybody working from home, and now you need to deploy so many different solutions because there's so many vulnerabilities. Like you said, somebody has either already thrown the punch or is about to. So how do you manage this these days as a CISO of a massive organization, people working from home, and this attack surface exploding?
Giving credit to my boss, I'm the regional CISO, but it's still, the whole region, and it's the Middle East and Pakistan. One of the, I mean, if you look at history, this is one of the, hottest region even in the human history, right? Middle East, politically, geographically, economically, it's always, and weather as well, by the way, it's very hot. I'm not going to talk about those because it's not my expertise area. It's all about the changing mindset. So it was, people used to go to the office. In the office, you have a desktop or laptop, you are connected to a corporate location. all the security, you have physical security guards. All we had to tell employees, hey, you know what? Have clear desk policy. Lock your confidential stuff. Ensure you lock your drawers. Ensure you lock your PC. From that, we went to an environment that, hey, you're out there. You could be not during lockdown, but after lockdown, you can be at the moment at Starbucks, or you could be at home, or you could be using your neighbor's Wi-Fi, or you might be connecting with your own device to your corporations. Of course, first we had to find how we can connect these people to work, because during lockdown, nobody could go out. So VPN, easy solution, but did he have enough license? Or did he have a corporate device, like laptop? If not, how are you gonna, even if you install the VPN in your home PC, it's not gonna work because you don't have the configuration settings. Let's say you fix that, then you had bandwidth issues. Usually, let's say you had 100 megabits per second bandwidth, where now it went up to God knows where all these guys went outside. And besides that, phishing, you could just ask someone, hey, did you see this email? Or, all this news which is happening. So people are more likely to click when they see, the immunization has been found, flash news. People will be social engineered. They will be forced to click into it. So, for years, we were talking about the cloud. For years, we were talking about being aware. And now, these days, everybody's talking about zero trust, which honestly, I like. Like, if you look at this, before you ask, let me ask myself, like, these terms, are they new? No. Like, I remember 10 years ago, when first, it was Microsoft, Salesforce, Alibaba, when they started to talk about the cloud, everybody was afraid, oh my God, the cloud. But I was like, do you have a Hotmail email account? Yes. Or do you have Gmail, or you name it? Yes, but you are already in the cloud. Or do you use Skype? Remember, now everybody's using WhatsApp, but back then Skype was number one, or MSN. Oh, but you are in cloud. Or you got an Xbox or PS1, 2, 3, whatever. You are in cloud. But today, same with zero trust. Oh, well, I'm like, hold on. When your door rings, let's say your partner, your wife, your child, your mom, whoever, just walked out, you close the door, like 3 minutes later, the door will ring. Will you just open the door, or will you ask who is it, or will you check from the, like zero trust, never trust, always verify. So you probably not just blindly open the door, you will check if it's really the person who left the house or a stranger. Could be a delivery guy. So all these terms actually are not to us new to humanity. They're enable us to make our life easier, which hopefully can make people like me sleep better at night.
Right, and look, you keep going back to the mindset, and I love that, because that is the root of the problem as well as the solution to the problem. And look, I hear you. Zero trust. There is so many really overrated concepts that are just out there, but in practicality, I mean, how do you even do that? And it's very tough. I want to go back to the fundamentals of the CIA model and the confidentiality, availability, and ask you this. I keep hearing people going back to the CIA model. Do you think, is it, this is a rhetorical question, is it more important or less important now that we are in COVID, and why?
I think the importance has never changed. Maybe the focus point has changed. Like, let's say water. Here we go. Here's a water bottle. You're not thirsty, you're in London, probably it's raining now. If not, it's about to rain, London as usual.
It is raining today.
If you're not thirsty, let's say you're not thirsty at all, and I'm trying to sell you this beautiful water bottle for £3. Will you buy it? You're not thirsty. And it's expensive than usual. Sorry, that's because of my background. No. All right. We press the button. Now you're in Sahara, in the middle of desert. You're extremely thirsty. You're just about to die. You are dehydrated, and you saw me there. I'm just having the same water bottle. I'm going to be discussing. I get some sand. I'm not going to be discussing. So I get some sand and put it inside the bottle. I'm not going to spit on it. No. And I'm like, hey, send the water for 1,000 pounds and you have the money. Will you buy it or not?
I'll give you my left hand on top of that too.
Here we go. Same water. It's important to you as well, but not right now. But if we change the situation, the importance can change. Now back to confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So regardless when it was, Omid, don't tell the amount, but how much? I guess you got a bank account.
Yes.
How much money do you have in your account?
Not a lot.
All right, it's confidential. You don't want to share it with me, right? Let's assume you have $100. Oh, sorry, pounds here in Britain, 100 pounds. So if you wake up tomorrow morning and you see 100,000 pounds, probably you'll be happy, right?
Sure.
But you wouldn't care that much about integrity. I know you're an honest person. You will report it to the bank. We will find it out anyway. But it will take some time maybe. But let's say you wake up and you see minus 10,000 pounds. You're like, you will straight away call the bank. Hey, what's happening? So the integrity is also important, right? Now, availability. You have your beautiful money. You like this water bottle that you want to buy. I'm like, okay, you want the water? Yes. Credit card, sure, accepted. And you want to use the credit card because you don't have any cash with you? Oh, sorry, our systems are down. So the availability is also important.
Absolutely.
So regardless, this could be now in a hospital. Just happened last week in Germany. A hospital were attacked by an threat actor. Everything was ransomware. And, they said, the hospital actually communicated, said, look, we are a hospital. People are about to die. I mean, it's very rare occasion, but the ransomware guys, they released the key and they left, even the emergency units had to stop. But unfortunately, I think a few patients died, if I'm not wrong. So what I'm trying to say is forget about the integrity, the availability is so important that who cares who died, right? It's not that or who cares about the hospital name. It's about your life. It's not always like money. Yeah, let's say I have the amount. You're a consumer, most probably you will be covered by insurance, by the bank. If you're a business, you have different policies, you'll be covered somehow. Honestly, I'm not in financial crime and I'm not an expert as well. But there are some ways. But even if the money cannot be covered, let's say I steal your $100,000 and I disappeared. Yeah, you might be poor now, but at least you're still alive. You have the opportunity to remake the money. But that person who died.
Absolutely.
So, which one is more important? Confidentiality, integrity, or availability? So if we put the same example from the bank to hospital, you see that availability of this machine, which is connected to a computer at hand, it's very important. You wouldn't care about confidentiality that much there. But if you're a politician and you have a sickness, let's say US, Trump and Biden, they're fighting, one of them is going to win, wishing both of them good luck. But can you imagine one day before, you as hacker, you discover that politician X has a sickness because you hacked the hospital and you just released the news. This guy is about to die or possibly die in 6 months. I'm pretty sure most of the people will change who they're going to vote to. So in this case, confidentiality is really important. So back to your question, which one is more important? Sorry, I'm supposed to answer the question, right?
Absolutely, you have. It really depends on what you're dealing with. That was an excellent answer there. Now,
thank you.
I want to, look, I represent the ecosystem. So the Alliance truly believes that every single part of this ecosystem is important and has to have their say. Now, I want to ask you this. Is the vendor community supporting banks enough? Are they doing enough?
All right, I'm coming from a vendor background. Besides that last 1.5 years, I always worked for a vendor. Many years ago, I'm going to start my real professional career. I was born, grew up in Germany, met my wife. beautiful wife, and I moved to Australia. Like my brothers, they're still in Germany, so that's why I have that funny accent. Probably noticed. By the way, the name Turkish parents were born, grew up in Germany, living in Australia and Dubai at the same time. This is why the accent.
This
So
can't get any more global than that.
you know, exactly. Like you can look at my passport, you know, Australian passport, Turkish name with German mix. It's like anyway. So why I'm telling this? So when we look at like that, you know, I had my own company. I built my company. I was the vendor. Then I moved to Camp Technologies. I was the vendor. Load balancing. From there, I moved to Secunia. I was the vendor. From there, I went to Microsoft. I was the vendor. Now, finally, I'm the customer side. And honestly, like everybody was surprised when I accepted the job and moved to the bank. Honestly, I love Microsoft. I was employee of the year. I met Satya Nadella, the CEO. They sent not just me, but the whole family to Hawaii for holiday. In that peak period, I accepted, yeah, of course, for better benefits, the job in a bank because I wanted to see if, honestly, of course, you know, I'm earning good, but I'm still not in an age, and probably even if I become Bill Gates one day, I mean, money-wise or Jeff or, you know, you name it, probably I will continue to work because I love what I do. So back to the question, is the vendor supporting you enough? It all depends on you. Look, vendors usually have ready packages. It's like, look, this is a water bottle for 600 milliliters. All right. So, but you are not extremely thirsty. You only need 200 mils. I don't care. That's what you have. Ready package. You either buy it all or sorry, no water. So, very possible, and it depends how big your organization is. Try, I mean, I'm not talking about Windows, right? If you're going to buy Windows or Linux or Mac, you cannot change as much. This is what it is. Then you have the option to customize it yourself. But when you're buying services, please don't just blindly sign. Look at what has been sold and look how it will work with you. Look, it's like in Amazon when you buy something. You read the reviews. Some of them are extremely good. Some of them are bad, or some of them doesn't make sense at all. But it's your judgment, and you know, you Google, you go to Bing, whatsoever, you try to find an answer. Same applies to your product. Let's say the vendor, see if it's going to fit into your organization. Look, with security products, there are so many, for example, and you know, being in a region where people say something, I had like 50 security products. Honestly, I hear this with these ears. Like 50, yeah, I'm secure. Honestly, the number of your security products is not going to help you. It's totally up to you how you use it. Sometimes having one or two or three, or, you know, one is never enough probably. You will need the supporting components as well. Will maybe give you the strength that you need. Because having 50 products means you have 50 different applications to manage. You have 50 different configurations to manage. You have 50 different patches to manage, right? Because it's made by humans, it's going to be patched, it's going to be updated. And if not, ransomware. People are going to find it, they're going to attack you. So, yes, vendor support. Honestly, I'm happy with my vendors, with our vendors, but I'm not just always getting the full package. You know, I try to get what I want. And why do I know that? I work for a vendor. Honestly, none of the vendors that I worked were trying to do this. And they usually have trusted security advisors like myself, for example. I used to go to customers, zero sales target, advice. What do you need? Okay, you need one pen, you need one water bottle, and that's it. Which one should I get? I work for Microsoft. Of course, first preference is Microsoft. If not, you know what? I like Komodo. Komodo has some great products. You can use Komodo. If not, you know, you can I'm just giving examples to all our respective vendors because we need them in the ecosystem because we are only better together. It's like what we do now. Like at the moment, we try to reach out to the community. From the community, we try to listen to them and we try to talk to the vendors. Hey, vendors, thank you. Try to understand what I need. Very possible. Look, if I'm a small business owner, I'm not saying come and sit down with me. For that, I should get your package. But if I work to Standard Chartered or you name it, to Emirates or you name it, you know, to all these big organizations, then you will also have the power. It's like going to a corner shop or 7-Eleven, for example, right? You can buy the same water, but it's a bit more expensive. You can just drive a little bit to Pennies, or don't worry about the British names, to Lidl. I know German brand is in the UK as well. You go to Lidl, same thing, it's much cheaper there. Yeah, you can buy it. Why? Because they have better buying power, or they use a similar different brand, they rebrand it and they sell it as well. And maybe an OEM can help you with the same thing. So yes, the vendors do help me. Depend on which vendor it is. There are some vendors which I'm not going to mention either. I will never ever work. And there are some vendors which you notice a few times. I've mentioned Microsoft, I mentioned Komodo, I mentioned this and that. So they will, with those I will work. But again, this is my personal preference.
Perfect. No, that was an excellent roundup of how you deal with the vendors. It helps a lot coming from the vendor background, I have to say, because you've been on both sides of the table. Not everybody has that luxury, right? So I can't get enough of this conversation. I mean, I'd like to go on for more, but I'm going to have to wrap this up and probably reach out to you again sometime in the future to have you back on the show. But just to wrap this up, how do you see the regional cloud security landscape changing after the COVID? How is it going to be different especially for banks moving forward?
Honestly, look, if there is one thing, like every negative thing has a positive side, right? Like medallion's two sides. Like COVID, I know it costed many lives, millions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars. And for that, I hate COVID. Look, I usually don't use in media interviews hate word, but I think there is no person, including the medical companies or the hospital, nobody in that universe who likes COVID. But there were some positive sides from COVID as well. Like today, I was supposed to be in US, Microsoft Ignite, which costs usually money. I was a speaker. It's the same conference now for free. So thanks. I don't know if it's really thanks to COVID. I don't want another COVID. I prefer to pay, don't get me wrong, and fly and this sort as well. It's now free. Or shows like that, maybe we used to meet somewhere, it had to cost something, but now we use this applications like, here we go. That Zoom, for example, that we're talking about, I don't know if you're allowed to say so. What was Zoom before COVID? And what is Zoom now? So honestly, I used to always say, I'm a big cloud fan. Coming from Microsoft, I think I had no other option. But I always say, don't rely just on, honestly, in enterprise, I don't see, and don't forget, I'm not Microsoft anymore. In enterprise, I don't see any real competition. But it doesn't mean Google Cloud is doing bad. It doesn't mean Alibaba is bad. So they all have their strengths, sometimes price, sometimes. So you need the cloud. And, digital transformation. People were talking about this for years. I'm pretty sure even you had someone in your show talking about digital transformation, right? But I'm pretty sure everybody saw this in social media. What has speed up your digital transformation? A, your CEO. B, your CIO. C, your CISO. D, COVID-19. Right? Everybody had to digital transform. So use the cloud. Look, I'm not saying put everything in cloud and make the cloud vendors rich. No. But don't forget, sometimes investing in the cloud than the hardware is much cheaper and much more scalable or much more secure. So what I'm trying to say is cloud providers are really big help. Can you imagine you have a legacy application that you cannot patch? As a result, you can get attacked. So why not put it in a cloud location where possible? And if something happens, only let that VM be hacked. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, all vendors do say is, look, putting in cloud is not something new. It's like COVID. Honestly, COVID is not new. I'm not talking scientific. Yes, I'm a doctor, not medical doctor, but COVID has some basic solution which can save your life. Wear a mask. Keep social distance. Try not to, I'm one of those. Try not to touch your face, your eyes. Use hand sanitizers. This will 99% protect you from COVID. if if you don't go as much as possible outside. Same applies to cybersecurity. Same applies to the cloud. If you But that was you read this in the news. Oh, there was a credit card database found in Amazon S3 service. Yeah, but why? Is it Amazon or is it you? So you look at details. It was the customer who misconfigured the service. Oh, Azure has been hacked to pass the hash. Hold on. If you click an phishing email and give away your password, not just Azure, they can, like, if you give your key to a robber and let them make your alarm key, your car key, they will steal your car. So please look at the basic, like in Corona example I gave. Ensure you have MFA. Ensure you patch your systems. Ensure you don't just click next, 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 next. Ensure you use the full package. Like, for example, Microsoft has the Azure Security Center. Or let's say you sign up to Komodo XDR, all right? Make sure you enable this notifications at least. If something detected, it tells you. Like, hey, oh, you know what? Your body, for example. Hey, Omid, what is wrong with you? I can see you are not feeling well. Your eyes are red. Even your body usually gives some signs, right? Same applies to computing. So, very back to your question. Cloud providers are honestly life service, the good ones. But don't just rely on them on security because it is shared responsibility, unless you're using SaaS, let's say Office 365. But again, there you have to still use MFA, or you could be using Google. Please promise nobody's paying me anything. Hold on, I'm a Microsoft Regional Director, MEP. It's an award for doing evangelism. But again, don't mix this up. Promise I'm not doing this for this. But the point is, and honestly, some cloud providers, they go to their clients, they say, hey, you know what? Please do this. And that's honestly my job. I speak to people like you to pass my message. And to some vendors, please also listen to us. What Omid and his friends are trying to do is get our voice to you as well. So I'm not saying lower your price, lower security, but not everybody can maybe buy a Lamborghini. Can you imagine the only car in the world was Lamborghini? So probably there aren't going to be that many cars. That's why you have some, for example, Korean cars. Hyundai, for example. My wife is driving one. It's a great car. Yeah, I'm driving an AMG Mercedes. It's a different story. She loves it, by the way. And honestly, she has some options which came with the car for free, where I have to pay as an option. What I'm trying to say, it all depends on who you are. Listen to vendors and give them the options. Like, think about basic, Holden is Australian, basic, let's say BMW. There is 3 Series, 316, 320, 330, and it goes all the way to M3, which is the highest. Same car with modified options. If you give this to your consumers, probably, especially some consumers which they cannot afford security, maybe this can help the consumers to be better. Honestly, again, I know that's the third time I'm going to mention the name. It was at LinkedIn. I think that Melih Abdulhayoğlu, the CEO of Komodo, he just said that not just the antivirus, but also the XDR product is going to be, EDR product is going to be open source, which means, you know what, you have the opportunity to use it. So keep an eye in social media to opportunities like that, where you can sometimes use for free. Yes, I'm pretty sure their business in the return, they're going to, I don't know what, it's not my business, okay? But what I'm trying to say is opportunities like that will give us also smaller businesses better security feeling. I hope this answered the question. Perfect. Now I know why you didn't ask another question, because I talk too much. I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. I want you to talk too much because there is a lot to be said. And look, I was going to wrap up, but I have to ask you another one, because I'm just imagining that there are other CISOs of enterprises listening to this and relating to a lot of what you have to say. And you have this very special position coming from the vendor community and now being the CISO of a bank, major bank that is. And I just wanted to ask you this: since you joined Stanchart and had this job, what was the biggest lesson learned for you? I mean, I know you have a vast background and experience, but I'm also sure that people still keep learning. Having to deal with securing such a massive environment and dealing with so many different vendors like we talked about, what is the biggest lesson learned for you?
Um, as a role, first lesson role for me, I mean, I used to be an advisor at Microsoft as well for CISOs, right? Or for CIOs. I 100% realized that being a CISO is not about knowing cybersecurity into ones and zeros, into the bits. It's much more than that. Being a CISO means going to the boardroom and explain non-IT people, like executives, CEOs. I'm doing it, by the way, in many countries that I am a member. Explain that what cybersecurity is. Yeah, yeah, they should be afraid, but not stay sleepless. Yes, in the beginning I said that keeps me awake. You know why? Because I'm writing the books. But I know I can be hacked anytime, and I'm not talking about the bank. You know, every organization can be hacked, and this is ex-FBI director saying that, not me. But I know we have also a great team, great talent, where it's trying to protect the organizations. So the biggest lesson learned for me is, hey, you know what? I was able to see the other side. Yes, I was always going to financial institutions. Honestly, except Standard Chartered, I worked with many other major banks. Actually, one of the biggest banks from Russia, you name it, to South Africa. I worked with so many banks, but being in the chair of being the permanent, honestly, first 3 months, I'm like, okay, here's my report. Am I going now? You know, I done my assessment, I wrote reports, I met many other people. Like, okay, am I going now? Because I used to do that. No, I noticed, hey, that's I belong here now. Once the mindset change, I start, you know, many vendors, for example, sometimes when the X comes, I'm like, you have this stuff. How do you know? Because I used to work for you, they know me from something. So let's make this work to me. So for my fellow CISOs, what I would recommend is, please, knowledge is the power. The more you know, the better you are. It's impossible to know everything, okay? Look, I got a PhD with 2 different university degrees. I wrote so many books. Doesn't mean I'm good. Like, sometimes I really think I'm good. And I used to be, for example, ethical hacking trainer, right? For many other security vendors. I wrote so many courses as well. I thought I used to be good until I meet my student. I'm like, oh my God, how did you do this? They're like, you gave me the idea of this. So in cybersecurity, there's always someone better. It's like being in China. When you go to a Shanghai market, for example, when you buy something and you're going to negotiate, you think you have the best deal until you meet someone that had better price from you. So what I'm trying to say is, please try to learn from each other. I might be good in vendor side, but honestly, I wasn't the best when it comes to banking. They asked me, like, what do you know about banking, or what is retail banking, transactional banking? I'm like, there is a bank who deals with retail people, commercial people. Transactional banking is like you transact from A to B. That I cannot maybe know, but if you go to the protocols, let's talk about TCP/IP. Are you using IPv4, IPv6? Are you using encryption? I can speak the background. So my message is, partner with your friends. Try to have friends. Like, be good with your next door neighbor. Maybe you don't know him or her, no problem. But I assure you, if there is a fire next door and you don't help your neighbor, that fire is soon going to jump to your apartment or to your building. So that's why we're doing this, right? In this community, we're trying to share our experiences totally for free. I don't want anything. You didn't ask for anything. Thank you very much for the free speech. But one thing I know, I'm building my community, because it's like, remember, I was attacking you. You could only do this, but if you had your friends, maybe they would come and separate you or help you not to get hit. I'm not saying hit back, you know, that's not what we do. We are totally against that where possible. I'm just trying to use some examples where people can visualize it. Some of the analogies, I apologize if it sounded very out logical, but promise all what I was trying to do is, you know, that's how cybersecurity is. Like, people are hitting you, but with packets instead of Does that answer the question?
It was a perfect example of metaphors there. Plus, look, it makes a lot of sense. The more knowledge we have, the better choices we make, whether with or
Exactly.
without vendors. And we really need to utilize this power of networking that we have today, and a security professional 10 years ago, 15 years ago did not have. So let's do that. Dr. Ozkaya, it was a pleasure listening to you. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just let you talk to our viewers, and some of them might want to get a hold of you. What's the best way of reaching out to you?
The best way is usually my blog, my name last name.com, erdal.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram under Dr. Erdal. I'm in every possible social media, and I usually share a lot. Now people ask me, why are you not in YouTube? I'm now also in YouTube as well. I started to share my seminars there, and all for free. I even closed the advertising monetization because honestly, I don't want. Look, most of the books I write, yes, of course, people are selling for money, but if you cannot afford it, reach out to me. If you're a student, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to send you a free ebook or give you maybe some auto discount for some of the books. No promise, but I will do my best to do so. So I'm in social media, and I'm pretty sure this video is going to be everywhere in social media as well. We're both going to share it, our organizations. So be in touch, and we are better together.
And I can say that I was witness firsthand to how willing Dr. Ozkaya was willing to share his wisdom with us, and it's what we have to do, right? Give, uh, and improve people's lives. Thank you very much for being a part of this show.